Hello children, how you all? I hope you all good. So today we are going to discuss about the rivalry of great powers, particularly in which place this was happened. So it was happened in the place of Europe, and among the European continent, the countries, there was a fight for the capturing of a number of countries from the place of Africa and Asian continent. So in the year of 1880, at the time of 1880 itself, our own continent, Asian continent, was totally under the control of the Europeans. We know that the Europeans, particularly the Britishers, French, and then Germany, Italy, these are the people. So they start to dominate in the year of 1880 itself, and after that the people of Africa, they were under the control of the Europeans from 1881 to 1914 itself. So within a short period, the total African country was under the control of the Europeans. It led to a number of problems among them for capturing the countries. And here I mentioned the German at that time only started to enter in the capturing the colonies. Why? Because there was a huge message was behind it. Actually 1870 only the Germany and Italy was unified. So until it is not developed very much, but after 1870 only it started to develop its own country. In that time they start to produce a number of goods, but unfortunately they don't have the markets. So they started to sell their markets and the products from the places of colonies. But what happened? The developed nations like England, this is not liked by them. So it created a number of clashes among themselves, and it led to a war. Here I mentioned 1870, the people of England, Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, they were joined for the purpose of scramble for markets and colonies. So there was a fight, a great fight. That great fight only became as in a World War I. Okay, now we are move on to the next one, that is clashes amongst the greatest powers. I told the England, Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, these are the countries. They joined for the purpose of scramble for markets and colonies, and how it led to the problem, that is only we are going to discuss here. Actually England is a country which had a huge colonies, a vast empire under its control, but even though it is not happy with it, and it created a number of clashes frequently with other European people. Why? Because the USA and Germany, they started to entering in the place of England colonies, and the people of the Asian and African continent people, they start to purchase and get the products of USA and Germans. Why? Because the products of the Germans and USA, that is very cheaper one. So they started to give an importance for the USA and German products. It is not liked by the people of England. So it created a frequent clashes among the England and the USA and Germany. And after that it created a huge one more mistake. That mistake is nothing but England going to fight with Germany in the World War I, 1914 to 1918. At that time only Germany was defeated and England got success. Here you could see a man picture. Actually the person, he belongs to our own continent. So which place, that is very important. Why? Because he is a man who belongs to Japan. So we know that Japan is in a small island, but that island, it became as a huge powerful nation in the time of 1900 itself, with the support of this person. Actually the person name is nothing but Mr. Meiji. So he was ruled the country of Japan in the year of 1867 to 1912. At that time he gave a number of importance for the growth of Japan in the name of modern navy and modern army. How? In the sense, he gave the Western education to the people of Japanese. So the people of Japanese, they got a number of Western education. The idea totally is changed. So they gave importance for the growth of all the aspects, and they became as a more strong. At that time of Japan, they had a huge population. So they needed a number of places to produce and to sell their products. But unfortunately they don't have plenty of places, so they started to involve to capturing the countries. At that time only what was happened, the people of Japanese, they start to capturing the places of Chinese place, particularly Manchuria. But this is not liked by the people of the Chinese. At the same time, the Europeans like Russia, Germany and France. In the year of 1894, there was a Sino-Japanese war, which means there was a fight between China and Japan. In this war, the Japan was gotten victory and the China was defeated. Why? Because the China was not very well developed at that time. So, it was defeated by the small island of Japan. So, a huge nation was defeated. Everybody got in shock with the actions of Japan. It is could not tolerate by the people of Russia. So, they start to send in huge army against the Japanese, but the Japanese people, they never got in fear. They started to fight against them bravely. So, Japan annexed Liujiang Peninsula with Port Arthur. Why? Because they got in success, no? So, China was defeated, Japan got success. For the remembrance of that, Japan, it got in Liujiang Peninsula with Port Arthur. Students, you might know where the Port Arthur and Liujiang Peninsula are situated. Actually, this is the place of Liujiang Peninsula, and this particular place is nothing but Port Arthur. So, this place was annexed by the people of Japan. This is not liked by the people of Russians. So, that only they send in a huge army against the Japan. In the year of 1904, the people of Russians made a fight with Japan, but unfortunately what was happened? Japan got success, Russia, it was facing failure. It looks like a small fish who ate a huge shark, because the world's largest nation was defeated by a small island. No one is ready to accept that, but that is truth. So, Russia was defeated by the small Japan, and it created huge problem. That problem, it leads to a war that is known as a World War I. And here the Japan started to enter after the defeating of Russia into the great powers. So, Japan is the only nation which belongs to an Asian continent, strongest nation after the defeating of Russia. Now, we have moved on to the strong arm diplomacy of Japan. Actually, after the defeating of China and Russia, Japan became as the greatest power, we know that, and it started to develop its territory. How? Because by capturing number of places. The very closest place of Japan is nothing but that is Korea. So, the total Korea, domestic and foreign trade under the control of the Japanese people, and they started to rule that place indirectly. But this is not liked by the people of Koreans. Do you know what was happened? There was a Japanese diplomat was appointed to rule, but the person was killed and assassinated by the people of Koreans. This is not totally accepted by the people of Japanese. So, they started to conquering and annex whole place of Korea. Now, Korea under the control of the Japan in the year of 1910. And after that 1912, in the year of 1912, the China was very weak. Why? Because the ruler of China, Manchu dynasty, they were not good enough, they were not strong enough. So, it started to declining. We know that in 1894 itself, China was defeated by the Japan. So, the Japanese people, they know we can capture the whole China, but they didn't. Why? Because they are waiting for the moment. That moment is nothing but 1912. So, the Japanese people, they demanded number of things from the people of China. Do you know what was the demand? Here I mentioned. The people, they demanded Manchuria. Manchuria is nothing but a fertile land from the place of China. This place wanted to capture by the people of Japan. So, they demanded, at last they got it also. At the same time here, the people of Japan, they demanded the Shantung Island. Shantung Island, but this was under the control of Germans. But now what was happened? Japanese people, they asked to get the place. This could not stop by the actions of Chinese. Why? Because China was very weak in that time. So, the people of Japan, they start to capturing, and they start a number of demand, and they got a number of privilege to rule the place of both China and Korea. And here now we are move on to the next one is the colonization and its fallout. So far we discussed the people of Europeans, particularly the Japan. These are the countries how they captured a number of countries. And now which are the countries possess the places all around the world, that is we are going to discuss. The first country, that is known as African continent. So African continent was divided among the people of Britain, France and the Belgium. So these are the three countries wanted to capture the whole place of the African continent very beginning, but it is quite changed. Why? Because the German, Italy also they start to involve in the actions of capturing the African continent. So they got in few places in the place of African continent. So but most of the places held by the Britain, France and Belgium. So this was what happened, and after that there was a sphere of influence was introduced in the place of China by the people of the Britain, France, Russia and German. We need to know what is the meaning of sphere of influence. So sphere of influence is nothing but, just think this is the classroom. This is going to split into 4 parts. The first part is going to ruled by myself, and second part that is going to be ruled by Mani Bharati, and third part that is going to ruled by Arun Dinesh, and fourth part that is going to ruled by Ranjit. According to this sphere of influence, I should not capture the place of Ranjit. At the same time, Ranjit should not capture my place. So among us we had one alliance. That alliance only is nothing but a sphere of influence. So we capture some part. That part only belongs to myself. I should not capture other places. So this was introduced in the place of China by the people of Britain, France, Russia and Germany. So that is we read. And after that, Japan. We know that in the year of 1905, the diplomat of Japan was killed by the people of Koreans. So in the year of 1910, Japan captured the place of Korea. At the same time, they captured one more place. The place is nothing but Taiwan. Taiwan, it had another name. The another name is known as Formosa. So these are the two places were under the control of Japan. And France. France, it had in the places in Asian continent, Indo-China parts. Actually the Indo-China part, it consists of 3. One is Vietnam, second one is Laos and third one is Vietnam. So Laos, Vietnam and Cambodia. These are the 3 places were under the control of the French people during the time of colonization. And after that, US. So US, they didn't capture plenty of places, but they took the place from the people of Spanish. Which place? That is known as Philippines. So Philippines was captured by the people of USA from Spain. And after that, Britain and Russia. They came to an agreement. Why? Because in the year of 1902 only, there was an alliance between the people of Britain and the Russians. So they made an alliance. According to that alliance, the people, they are ready to partition one place. The place is nothing but the Iran. And the Britain, France and the Russia, they were became as in one team. The team is nothing but triple entente. In the year of 1907, the triple entente was established. And after that, here the capturing of African continent, that is only we are going to discuss. Actually, the total Africa was under the control of 3 people. The 3 people, they were nothing but, that is France, Britain and Italy. So France, it wanted to capture the place, particularly Algeria and Senegal. So Algeria and Senegal wanted to capture by the people of the France, but very beginning what was happened? The France was defeated by them. So France was defeated by the people of Algerians, very beginning, but after that they start to capture the whole places of Africa. And second one is the Britishers. The Britishers, they wanted to capture the places of Zulus and Sudan. But what was happened? The Britain was defeated by the Sudanese army in the year of 1879, and it created another problem, and it led to capturing whole African continent. That is became as a number of freedom movement. That freedom movement, it created a number of problem in the name of African and the European powers. Okay, the last point, that is known as Italy. Italy wanted to capture the place of Ethiopia, particularly the place of Adowa. Adowa is a part of Ethiopia. So in that place, the people of Italians wanted to capture. But what was happened? The people of Italians, they were defeated by the Ethiopian army in the year of 1896. Okay, so this is the quick summarize about the colonization and its fallout. So students, in this video session we discuss Europe, particularly a rivalry among the Europeans, and after that how the great powers they fought for the capturing the colonies, that is we read. At that time we discussed the capturing of Korea and China by the people of Japanese. So how Japan is became as the greatest power of the Asian continent we discussed, and who was the ruler at that time we discussed, and everything we discussed, particularly the modern army and modern navy in Japan, that is we discussed. And now we discuss colonization and its fallout, that is also we discussed. This is the time to question session. So first question for Elia, you just say in which place the capitalism was flourished first. Very good, the place of Europe, good. Now another question for same person Elia alone. So which Asian continent country became as a superpower in the year of 1900 itself? Very good, that is Japan, good. And after that France, it captured some places. Which are the places? This question for Silambu, you just say which are the places? Yes, good, that is a place of Indochina. Which are the places particularly? Yes, that is 3. Which are they? Yes, good, Vietnam, Laos, and yes, and Cambodia, good. So these are the 3 places were under the control of France, good. It shows that you were listening the class very carefully. Okay, now the time to wind up the lesson. Thank you students, I hope you enjoy the class. Parents, please help your kid to learn a number of knowledge. Why? Because these are the lessons which is very important for the growth of kids. Why? Because it may come in the UPSC exam, TNPSC exam. So it is very important to them. Kindly help them to learn, read and study and write the test. Why? Because in description box we uploaded question bank, study material, YouTube link, PowerPoint presentation and self-assessment, everything we uploaded. Kindly go through that. Surely it will help them to grow. Thank you.